thicker when you've got large quantities, but you can certainly add soft icing to a piping bag and use it in the same way. So you just want to squeeze and then blend it together. Generally we'll do the whole outline first and then blend it together, but just make sure you're always sort of mixing it so that it doesn't just form a ridge between one section and another. And then just keep moving it back and forth against the line so that you don't have otherwise it just catches the line and it's really jagged. So we'll use the small bottles with the small nozzles to do the drop-in detail. And you wanted this, yeah, you want it wet because otherwise they won't blend and settle together. If you want to do detail on top, you let this dry completely. But this is for drop-in detail. So you're basically dropping in the same consistency of icing but in a different color. And then it'll set flat the biscuit. You can see how it settles in. So there you've got dots, and if you wanted to give it a little bit more interest, you can use a pin, and you can drag.
Oh, can you get it all
from
blurred,
the blue,
like the ones that we saw?
Yeah, or you can drag from the blue across the other side and create little hearts in different directions. But this has to all be done while it's wet. You do it immediately, otherwise it dries too much and your biscuit will ripple. So you go through the blue, through the yellow, and out the other side. That didn't give us a big enough tail, so I'm going to go through again.
Where do you get your like creative sort of ideas from? Do you
Everywhere. I find I'm just always thinking about it and looking at everything, whether it's actual flowers,
because you are
fashion.
you are a bit ahead of the curve on your creative, your colours.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So then, okay, then for interesting dots, we can do. Just make sure you don't put too much flooding icing in here, because if you overfill this here and then with all the drop-in detail that you add, it might overflow. So if you're leaving them plain, you can afford to fill them quite a bit more so that it still has a nice bubbly.
What happens if you fill them too little or nothing?
They just don't look as nice.
Okay.
If it's too flat, then you'll see more. If you overfill, then it can run over the edges. But this is nice and stiff. It's not too runny. You'll see if you to test the consistency.
Can you just decorate mine for me?
So if you've got your icing in a bowl, then drizzle a trail of it over itself and see how long it takes to settle. So you can see it's taking about sort of longer than 6 seconds. If any quicker than that, and then you run the risk of it running over the edge. So now let's do some drop in with pink. So you can do, so as long as your icing's exactly the same consistency, it will settle in nicely.
And it's not going to make it go over the edge.
Well, if you had put too much blue in to start with, it might. So that's why you've got to bear in mind how much you're adding. Yeah, that's why it's always good to have extras. So you can just have dots like that, or you can,
Because
again...
it looks like it's just about to go over the edge, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, but those lines are holding it in, and it's a good consistency. It's not too runny.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, so there's so much you can do.
Amazing.
Then I'll show you, if you wanted to do some stripes, I'll show you in maybe the mannequin. Let's do that.
I think I'm just going to concentrate on doing one now.
Do white.
And if you just want to do lines, like kind of...
Yeah, you can do that.
Like
It's
squiggly
quite
lines.
difficult to get straight lines neat with the runny icing. So
But like like a circular...
yeah, then you can do that. You can do whatever you like. I'll show you some. You can just do random sized dots dropped in with other dots inside. You can do lines that you then drag. Just go crazy. So here I'm just doing white all over, and then I'll do stripes and I'll drag them.
But your son's birthday party was amazing. All the other models
was
would
such
be like
fun.
that. What did he have for his cake?
I put a photo on my Facebook page
Is
actually.
it 4 tier?
No, it was just a little.
Why not?
Yeah.
Totally. Fox.
I'll show you a picture
It's
of
like,
it
what's
just
he
now.
going to go to for his wedding if his first birthday?
Yeah.
I suppose first
No, I
birthday
kept it
is pretty
hideous.
big.
I won't show you the cake I made for my daughter.
Oh, you made a
I don't
rabbit.
make, I order.
You made a rabbit.
What are you doing that for now?
I'm just popping the dots. Sometimes the icing's got some air bubbles in it, and if you can see them coming to the surface, you can just pop them, the pin. And then what I'll do
So you haven't
here...
put that much icing on there because you know you're going to put quite a lot in, is that right? Or-
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm going to do some piped stripes.
Jean-Pierre Gaultier.
I'm just thinking that's my industry, so I think.
Oh, what do you do?
Fragrances and cosmetics.
Oh, cool.
We've always got launches and conferences and.
Okay, and then maybe I'll do some in another colour in the opposite direction, and we'll just drag them in different directions.
I was thinking we should have had some biscuits for the opening.
In the gallery. George has got an art gallery.
Oh, cool.
What was the girl?
So now I'm going to drag this down
Oh
here.
my goodness.
Oh wow.
So from the white through the pink, we'll do the same through all of these.
Oh,
Just clean
oh,
off
I
this.
love
It's
this.
It's like the marble sort of effect.
Yeah. Just clean the pin off after each drag.
We should
have to
put you for
decorate
at least one of mine.
We
Roxy.
should send you on the Great
We
British
should take
Bake
off,
Off,
but just not tell them.
That's funny. I do have a British passport. So.
Yeah, we should get you on it.
They've never
bakes
baked
sometimes,
before.
occasionally.
As you go opposite.
Oh, do you have to be have
to
no
be an
training?
amateur.
You have to be an
Yeah,
amateur.
an amateur.
Okay.
Some of them are awful to start with, and they do get better.
You see, you're giving your tricks away because now that I see how you do it.
Yeah, it's so easy.
When
When
I see the picture, I'm like, did you physically draw on each?
No, exactly. Well, a lot of you can do a lot of detail on the top once
beautiful.
it's
I
dry,
want to
but
dress
this is
like that.
it's so easy to actually play with this drop-in detail.
Because that was the dress in Mamma Mia. Her dress that she wears at the wedding is so beautiful.
The mother, Meryl Streep.
So if you did a
It's like
cone,
Liberties or...
I would generally, if I was doing an ice cream cone, I would let this dry and then do pipelines on top. But just to show you the direction and the angle that you would do.
Have you gone back to Rodine and given a lesson?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't done any lessons in Joburg.
Oh, is it the baby?
Yeah, he's obviously
Mrs.
working.
Nelson would be proud of you.
I don't know about that.
She
Someone
would.
said to me the other day, "Oh wow, your father sent you to such an expensive school, and then you became a baker."
They didn't say that to you.
So one of my brother's friends. I was like,
Are you kidding me?
okay. I don't know what I'm going to say to that.
Oh my gosh, that's so rude.
They don't understand. They
No,
don't
it's
understand.
Anyway,
Did you say, do you want to come and do one of my courses, or would you like to see one of my
no,
wedding
I
cakes?
kind of just laughed.
I was
so
talking to this
shocked.
American lady about my course, and we were all having coffee, and she just looked at me and walked off and sat at the next table.
That's
She was
so
like,
weird.
"Oh, are you so boring? You do biscuit making courses?" And I go, "Well, you know, you've got a brain as well, but it's an art."
Yeah. It's so funny. So this, I normally wouldn't do it like this dropped in because it's very hard to get this drop-in line perfect, you know, because you have blobs on the edge and stuff. So I would do that effect, but with the stiff icing on top. So obviously we can't do it on there now because it'll just sink in, and it won't sink in properly because it's stiffer. But you can see how stripes will always be neater if you do them on top with the detail.
Oh, I
Well, so you
quite
wait
like
for the
that.
filling to set, It and has then to you dry put it on.
Completely, yeah, and then you pipe